How's it going, everybody? My name is Blake and you're watching Midwest Ordnance. Now, if you've been around for a while, around this time last year, this was my very first rifle build. Well, pistol. Now rifle, pretty much. With the ATF crap, so this is still legal up until I think like May 31st. So, oh well. But I wanted to put this on just to like compare and contrast what the first version was versus this version. Now, going back to the video that I did, mainly about this upper receiver here, not really anything to do with the lower receiver or just anything else. It's this upper receiver in particular that I had a lot of issues with, and one of the issues that I addressed with was that this upper came from Bear Creek Arsenal. So, little backtracking, I purchased this upper on Midway USA and from AR Stoner, and after I didn't even have 100 rounds through this upper receiver yet, and I was already having a lot of issues. It wasn't feeding right, it wasn't cycling, and the bolt kept getting jammed, which, for you gun Karens out there, weapons cleared. It's on a vise, so it's all good. But I couldn't get more than 100 rounds out of it, and I kept trying to figure out why. So I ended up cleaning the bolt. That helped somewhat, but then I kept having more issues. And so I didn't deal with it for about a year. And I looked something up on Google, and I can't remember what I was searching, but I remember seeing a search saying, is Bear Creek Arsenal owned by, or is AR Stoner owned by Bear Creek Arsenal? So that caught my attention, because I was always told to stay away from Bear Creek. Bear Creek's bad. And I'm not shooting at them or whatever. I'm just telling you what I've heard, so y'all don't come after me. So I was always told that Bear Creek was bad, and so at the time, still being pretty fairly new into the gun world, I just followed what everybody else said, and so I did. And then whenever I kept reading article after article after article saying that yes, AR Stoner is owned by Bear Creek, I pretty much just tossed this upper. I was going to look for a different upper. I still wanted to be a pistol length, so I just didn't do anything with it for a while. And then up until recently, I started to get back into it. But a lot of the comments on those videos that I did make said that Bear Creek makes all their stuff in-house. And I did a little bit more digging, and yeah, AR Stoner is their own separate company. Bear Creek Arsenal does their own stuff. So, to Bear Creek Arsenal, I'm very sorry for the video I did make for giving out false information. I will never do that again. So, my apologies. Now, as of moving forward, like I said, up until a few weeks ago, I started to wonder, how can I fix this upper receiver? Because now I'm a little bit more educated on how guns are built, what parts are good, what parts are bad. And I wanted to figure this out, because granted, this was like a $300-400 upper receiver, which isn't a whole lot. But to me, $300 to $400 is a lot of money. And I would hate to throw this upper receiver away. And so I went back through it. I cleaned the bolt, and I kept test firing it. The bolt would cycle a little bit, and then it would stop. And so I tried to figure out, okay, I cleaned the bolt, but now what's wrong with it? So I figured it was the gas tube. Now, this is a different gas tube that I have on here. This is the original gas tube, and judging by comparison, which I'll show you here, very, very different from what this one looks like to this one. This is an Aero Precision. I don't know where this came from, but this is one of the issues that I've had, and I'll show you why. So, like I said, this is the original handguard that came with it. Now, I ordered a different handguard, and I've got several other handguards, and the common theme that I usually see with them is there's nothing up here for this, for the gas tube, which is kind of obvious. Well, I don't know if AR Stoner threw this on there from an airsoft gun, or this was meant to be for like a direct blowback gun that doesn't have a gas tube. But there's an issue that I see here. This little rib goes throughout the entire underside of this Picatinny rail. So if I was to try and put this on, which, disclaimer YouTube, I'm not showing you how to build a rifle, I'm not showing you how to assemble it. I'm simply demonstrating the problems that I'm having. So please don't flag this, and please do not get rid of it. But this is the issue that I have, is whenever I replaced this whenever I replaced this gas tube, or I looked at this gas tube was not only crushed between this handguard and the barrel nut, but also this thing was bent out of shape for the bolt. So all that gas was not going into that bolt, pushing that back. It was canted, which is probably why it wouldn't cycle right. So I'll show you. This is the issue that I am having. If you can kind of see, it's not supposed to be like that. And if I tried to put this on top of the gas tube, it would just crush it again, and I didn't want to do that. And so I'm unable to put this on either side except in the middle, which, oh well. But I ended up getting a new handguard, a new barrel nut, and this actually fits right. So I changed out the gas tube, and I got this put on just today, and it looks fantastic. So I mean, I'm going to show you what this actually looks like all together. If you didn't see the little video clip that I showed already, I'm going to cut to putting this all on. That way YouTube doesn't flag me for building a rifle, because God forbid you learn how to build a rifle for safety. Alright, so I got that all put on, and I can honestly say with this, and I'll extend that, this honestly does look so much better. I love how this turned out. I did put a new Holosun and a new aim point riser on there, I think is what it is, aim point. Tribe Defense handguard, I love it. Like I said, I shot it already today. I did some testing with it. And then I also put a flash can or blast cap, whatever the hell you call it. And then magnifier, because why not? So I think this looks 10 times better than what it does currently. Thankfully, it still cycles right, and I have yet to have an issue. I only had one light strike earlier whenever I was testing it, but I also think that's because of the trigger, because I don't have an additional rifle trigger. And that's something I'm going to get to as well with this particular gun. But I had 2 magazines loaded, and it went fairly well. I did some testing, obviously, after the little video, or the little clips I did to show you guys, what I was having, or what issues I was having versus, pretty much the finished product. So this is my first gun build 2.0, I guess is what you would call it. But so far, this thing is working very well, and I love it. Now, what I was going to say about the rifle. We're pretty close to 500 subscribers. I think maybe like 4 left. I think we're sitting at 496. Obviously, because I can't do the Tannerite video, which I'm going to address, my plan for like the 100, the 300 subscriber thing, which I blew past, and I just didn't have time enough or the money to make, because I'm having some financial issues, which I'm trying to take care of. So sorry for the delay. But I also found out from watching a video on Ordnance Lab, because like I said, I was going to use Tannerite, and I was going to use, I'm going to have this real quick. I got a ton of junk. I was pretty much going to fill this tube full of Tannerite. Now, from my understanding, there's really no legal limit. You can have as much Tannerite as you want. I was told it was 50, but whenever I looked on the ATF webpage, I couldn't really find anything saying like a legal limit. So I'm unsure of, but just to be on the safe side, I was gonna go with 50 pounds in total. But unfortunately, because eventually, you know, I want to get monetized. These videos are gonna start making money. The ATF would come after me for that, because even though Tannerite is not considered, it's an explosive, but it's a binary explosive, so you don't have to have a federal explosives license in order to use it for recreational use. But the second you have the intent to make money off of it is when the ATF says, hey, you're gonna need a federal explosives license for this. And that is stupid expensive. There's a lot of regulations to go behind that. And I'm honestly not gonna do that for just one simple video. It's a waste of time and a waste of money. So what I'm going to do instead is, when we reach 500 subscribers, I am going to SBR this thing. I will put a normal stock on it, but this upper receiver will not be on it. I'm going to put a much shorter upper receiver on it. And I've already got one of the things here, and this is going to be the stupid muzzle brick I'm going to have, which is essentially enhances the sound and the flash. Kind of like what you would see on AKs. So that's why I got it, but for AR. So it's going to be stupid small, stupid compact, and I think it'll be a good 500 subscriber milestone, if you will. So whenever we reach that, the upper receiver that I'm going to have is going to be custom built. It's going to take me a little bit to get all the materials, because some of it is like, the bolt that I'm wanting is almost $300, and then I'm still going to have a little red dot, except it's going to be from EOTech, and that right there is $400. So it'll take me a bit of time, and then plus I got to do the tax stamp. It'll just take me a little bit to get all this done and through. So that's the plan anyways. As for what I'm going to shoot, I have no idea, but this is a little update on this gun. Like I said, it's working perfectly fine now. There's no issues. Bear Creek, once again, I'm sorry. And whenever we reach 500, I'll SBR the damn thing. So thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me out. And I hope we reach 1,000 subscribers soon. Till then, stay safe and stay armed.